Good morning to everyone here today in our sanctuary and in our Zoom room. Thank you for joining us today at Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the lights. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go now. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the lights. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for. What this love's all about. What this love's all about. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Oh, bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Good morning. I'm Marcia, your platform assistant today. Well, welcome to everyone here in our sanctuary. Welcome to everybody in the Zoom room. Thank you for joining us today at Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies. Today's guest musician is Jeremy Facknitz. He has been entertaining audiences with his lovingly crafted music and high-energy performances for over 25 years. Since the 2002 breakup of his award-winning Detroit-based band, The Ottomans, Jeremy has performed primarily as a solo act. With an often quirky fusion of folk rock and jazz, Jeremy shares his intimate stories of life, love, and self-discovery. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power in the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Unity in the Rockies is an inclusive community. We welcome all people, races, gender identities, and relational orientations. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And then please join me in our mission statement from the slides on the screen. We are an inclusive spiritual community where we recognize and express our oneness with our Creator and all creation. And now for today's announcements. Our administrator, Kayla, has moved out of state. And through July, there are no regular in-person office hours at the center. But Kayla is on the job. So feel free to write, call, or email, and we will respond as quickly as possible. Harry Potter-style wand making. Perhaps you've dreamed of or read about wands since your childhood. Well, isn't it time to add a wonderful custom-made wand to your magical toolkit? Rick Finbow, psychic and magical life coach, will facilitate this joy-filled workshop, tapping into his decades of experience with a myriad of materials. So what's better than a kid in a candy store? Well, how about a metaphysician in a wonderful wand store? The energy exchange is $69 and includes all materials. And you'll walk away with at least 3 magical masterpieces of your own creation. New Thought Revival, July 23rd and July 30th. Join us as we present 2 renowned ministers, Reverend Raz Smith and Reverend David Alt. We will dive into speaking truth to circumstance, a reboot of the phrase, speaking truth to power. Look for more information in the weekly e-blast. And I understand that a handout was also given to many of you today for New Thought Revival. And our beautiful flowers are a gift from Carol Crosley. So, breathe in, breathe out. Welcome to the light on the Mesa.
Sorry, I'm looking at my order of service. I'm still learning how things go here. I won't repeat what you said. It's an honor to be here, and I loved the talk title, which I'll let Dr. David go into. But this is a song about coming out of your shell. It's called Ballet of an Unhatched Chick. If you want to picture a little birdie whose legs are poking out, but it still has an eggshell over it, and it's running into things because it's trying to protect itself from the scary world. That's what this song is about. I'm a little birdie, and that is all I'll ever be. Although my legs are sturdy, I don't know where they're taking me. I'm tapping out a prayer to give me strength to break apart the orange and spotted membrane. Fear is built around my heart. I promise you someday, well, I'm gonna break out and leave my shell behind. And until that someday, boy, when I finally break out, the sky above's been falling ever since Mama pushed me out. Well, I can hear her calling, but why she gotta scream and shout? 'Cause it sounds as if the whole wide world's gone mad and straight to, well, so tell me when it's over and safe for me to leave my shell. Well, I promise you someday, well, I'm gonna my shell behind. And until that someday, oh, boy, when I finally break out, well, I won't shed a tear, 'cause the world can't hurt me here. Ooh. Baby, mine is not the only shell you see. Still I'm lonely as a chickadee could be. Yes, I know it's senseless, hiding in this tiny thing, just shoring up defenses and hanging on with both my wings, poking out my legs and running blind just to get my kicks. All my life just dancing the ballet of an unhatched chick. Yes, I promise you someday, baby, I'm gonna break out and leave my shell behind until that someday when I finally break out. Well, I won't shed a tear, 'cause the world can't hurt me here. No, the world can't hurt me here. Thanks.
That was so engaging. Good morning and happy 4th of July. My name is Carol Crosley and I'm one of your prayer chaplains. And before I begin our daily word, I just want you to know that this publication has been around the world and it celebrated its 100th anniversary July 1st. Isn't that something? That's just giving incredible wisdom, insight, love to so many people. Also, I just want to mention too that giving you a heads up, the World Day of Prayer will be September 13th, and it's over several days. So please take note of that. It's a very special day. So just to remind you, I will be available to pray with you individually after the service, along with Sylvia, Ray. And today's daily word is guidance. I seek, trust, and follow my guidance. Seeking divine guidance means tuning out information and opinions and turning inward. Then, with an open heart and quiet mind, I can better feel the nudge of my intuition, my inner voice. I receive divine guidance much in the same way flowers in a field soak up sunshine. Just as following the sun is innate to them, I have the instinct to trust my inner knowing. Even if my guidance surprises me, I trust it to lead me on the path to my highest good. I follow where I feel called to go. I heed the still, small voice within, and pay particular attention to the serendipitous circumstances I find along the way. I seek, trust, and follow my guidance. As I do, I deepen my relationship with God, knowing wherever I go, I do not travel alone. The Lord will guide you continually. Isaiah 58:11. All right, and just a reminder again, our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you in front of this platform after today's service. Whether you are in a place of celebration or challenge, please take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Also, written prayer requests can be placed in the prayer box in the lobby at any time. Thank you.
Y'all are in a celebratory mood today. We're clapping for our first-time platform assistant, Marcia. And clearly not a rookie when it comes to using a microphone. We're clapping for our prayer chaplain, Carol. And we're heaping applause upon Jeremy, who's back with us again to share his musical gifts. I love that. Never postpone joy. For those who are with us for the first time, hello, good morning, welcome. My name is David Goldberg, and it's my honor to be the minister in this extraordinary community. So, as Jeremy said, we're still working through our order of service a little bit. A couple of things that I wanted to mention as well. Yes, happy 4th of July. Right? We're celebrating independence, and for so many of us, that is a good thing and that is a powerful thing. And I also wanted to share a couple of beautiful thank yous that I have received on behalf of our whole community this week. This is from our wonderful friends at UU who celebrated their last service with us on Father's Day. And the front says, "Thank you." And it looks like our little dog, Terry, but you know, I'm a little biased. And it says, "Just a little note to bring a great big thanks for everything. Blessings upon blessings be with you and upon this space. Thanks a million." And then many congregants signed it for us. So thank you for making our home feel like home for so many. I also had another thank you in my snail mail box. It says thank you, and it is a custom-made card from our guest speakers over Memorial Day, Reverend Melissa and Reverend Z. And they said, "Dearest Dr. David, thank you for entrusting us with your beautiful Unit in the Rockies community. We had a fabulous time, felt fully loved and supported, and were blessed by our time there. Thank you again, with love and blessings, Melissa and Z." And these beloved ministers are practicing what many of us preach. They're practicing that process of tithing or giving where they are spiritually fed. And with their thank you note, they included a check for $30, which is 10% of what we paid them for their presence. So, yeah, we're doing good work, my friends, and what a joy it is to be with you. Before I go any further, I did want to honor and recognize Norma Crawford, an important and integral member of this community. Norma just needed to stop by and check how the new guy was doing, so please don't throw anything that stains, okay? Yeah, so what a great day. So much going on in our world, so much going on in our lives. I also wanted to underscore what Marcia said with you about the wand workshop. Now, this isn't happening until September, and there's only room for 6 people. So, okay, give or take 6. So what happens in the wand workshop is you take what might look like an ordinary chopstick or 2 or 4, and you get to create something extraordinary. These two happen to be light and dark. They're both horses from a chessboard, from a chess game. And these were handmade by Rick. Or a happy Buddha, which kind of looks like you, Richard, but, you know, I'm just saying. Always a happy guy, always a joyful spirit. Or how about a dragon for a sense of whimsy, right? So we've got a couple of flyers. Just wanted to help you know that is percolating. So we're doing a lot of good work. We're doing a lot of exciting things. Jeremy's beloved Lindsay was here Friday doing her voice workshop. I understand we had 30, 40, 50 people participating in that. Thank you. I spoke with Lindsay. We're going to have a conversation a bit later about having her come back on a regular basis to offer that work. So thank you. Thank you for your feedback. That is what we want. That is what we need. And so, as I often do before we actually step into the service, I wanted to recognize the passing of Alan Arkin. An extraordinary actor. He was a character actor. He was a romantic lead. He did it all. And I had the opportunity to participate in an improv workshop with him in 2005 at Mile High Church. And another one of the participants was a young man, a minister's son, who was an actor, but he was also there to help Dad out to kind of fill up some seats in this workshop. His name is Gabe Ebert, and Gabe went on to win a Tony Award for Best Supporting Actor in the Broadway musical Matilda. And that's got nothing to do with anything other than I'm name dropping. So anyway, Gabe and I were both in this workshop with Alan Arkin, and one of the things that has stuck with me through the many things that I've had the opportunity to do in my life, when he was teaching us about improv, his first words were, "You don't have to try. As a matter of fact, there is no trying. You get to listen, you get to respond, and you get to play." I was like, okay, I don't have to try, I can do this. So yeah, he had an impact on my life. And our dear friend, Erica Teal, Dr. Roger Teal's wife, was also in that workshop. And Erica went on to build a career of teaching improv. So that one workshop in Lakewood, Colorado touched so many lives. We just know you're flying with the angels, Alan Arkin. And so, my friends, join me in a moment of meditation as we prepare to step into our message. So this day, we get to be in the space of authenticity. I get to show up as who I truly am, and I bless you in showing up as who you truly are. As our beloved Carol said, if you are in a place of celebration, we joyfully celebrate with you. If you are in a place of challenge, we stand by you. For that is what we do as spiritual family. That is what we do as family of choice. I love the quote that says, I don't look at it as working toward world peace. I simply look at it as trying to get along in a large, dysfunctional family. So we come together in that place of relaxation. We come together in that place of connection as we explore speaking truth to circumstance. Join me in just a moment of grounding silence. Releasing the busyness of the day, knowing we are all fully present in the power, the mystery, the perfection, the presence that is God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All is well, and so it is. So, my friends, as we continue our annual theme of living out loud, how are those New Year's resolutions going for you halfway through the year? Okay, conversation for another day. Okay. Know that is what we get to do. We get to get up every day, and we get to choose to be happy, and we get to say, I stepped into that. I did that. I get to cross that off my list. I get to check that off my list. Or if you're a recovering overachiever and you did something, you get to add it to your list just so you can cross it off. You've done that. So What is happening? How are we living out loud as this month we step into speaking truth to circumstance? Now, many of us are familiar and indeed perhaps have tried in the past to speak truth to power. I'm going to stand in my truth. Whatever you're feeling, whatever your cause, whatever's happening in your world, right? We have learned the phrase speaking truth to power. Well, this is a reframe of that as we explore what power is and what circumstance is. So what we know as people who are in a church, as people who are on a spiritual path, is spirit is the only power. Period, paragraph, end of conversation. What people really mean when they use the phrase is speaking truth or control to circumstance. I don't necessarily need to speak truth to power. I need to speak my word about what I think of this circumstance, good or bad or otherwise. So that's the reframe. And what else do we know as spiritual beings having a human experience? Circumstances are never truth. My little t truth is different from your little t truth. And again, on our spiritual journey, we get to explore together what our capital T truth is. So today we begin by looking circumstances in the face as the monsters that they seem to be. But like in the movie of the same name, they are not what they seem. Did anybody go as adults to see the movie Monsters, Inc.? We did, yep. Maybe with kids or grandkids, or maybe not. Just snuck into a matinee and overpaid for some popcorn and a Coke and had a nice time. So power is a word that triggers many reactions in many people. And again, there's only one power. And there's no need to speak truth to that power because truth and power are one in the spiritual realm. What we're really facing is the smoke and mirrors of circumstance. Now, if you've been called to have a prayer with one or more of our chaplains, perhaps you have heard them or you've heard me use the phrase, I bless you and I love you, and I know that you are more than any circumstance in which you might find yourself. That, again, is a spiritual truth. We are experiencing these things. These circumstances come into our lives. Some say we call them in because it's our soul journey to learn about them. Some say, isn't that interesting? So what we are dealing with and what we are working with then is simply the smoke and mirrors of circumstance. And fear is a result of that. And fear-based attempts at control masquerading as power. And those crumble in the face of truth. And that is the beauty and the joy of spiritual community. So despite appearances to my human eyes, to our human selves, nothing is greater than the infinite presence. Nothing can be outside of the one. If I choose to believe in evil, it's not a good versus evil. It's not God versus the devil. If I choose to believe in the devil is a part of that one circumstance. That kind of freaks the devil out. The devil is a part of God. Anyway, a conversation for another day. I remind you that one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. The editor in me wants to say, you plus God is a majority. Maybe not new information, maybe new information for some of you. When you are aligned, when you are standing in your truth, when you are standing in your power, nothing can stop you. The practitioner, meaning the practitioner of these spiritual principles, does not fight evil. They know there is no evil. When we engage in fighting with the outer, we are caught up in the belief and separation that we've lost faith in our infinite oneness. And when I do that, when I say that is evil, they are evil, that whole institution is evil, when I do that, I'm giving up my own power, you see. Because what else do we know? When I change my thinking, I change my life. So, what can we shift in our thinking about him or her or them or those? What can we shift? It means we first gain high perspective so that we can be the most effective, the most effective in our actions. I'm once again reminded of Mother, now Saint Teresa. And in one of the few interviews that she did, and I'm inclined to say before she passed, but it would be awkward to do interviews after she passed, unless she's working with Rick. He's really good at that. Anyway, Mother Teresa said, "If you invite me to a protest, I bless you, and I choose not to participate. If you invite me to a parade celebrating someone or something good, I'll be carrying the banner at the front of the parade with you." Why? Because when I'm against, I'm down here in the muck, in the mire. When they are bad, or I am wrong, or they are stupid, or fill in your own words, versus, this is glorious. You are outstanding. That was amazing. Marlene, I know you had that talk in you, and thank you for sharing your heart with us last week, right? It's a different vibration than the sound wasn't perfect and the umbrella kept blowing over. It's all true. It's all part of our human condition. And what do we want to focus on? And we become like moths to a flame. When we're vibrating higher, people will say, "Oh, he's in a really good space. I want some of that. Oh, she's awesome. I want some of that." And they may raise or rise to meet you on this energetic level or not, you see. And that's when we get to continue on our journey and love people wherever they are at. I've shared with you, I'll share it again briefly. I had the experience in my home community, in my home church, somebody coming up to me after church and saying, "I almost had to tell you to turn down your light. Your aura was vibrating so brightly." Thank you. And as I reflected on that, my thought is, bless you, thank you for recognizing that. Come on up. I invite you up here. Don't dim your light for anybody. That is the truth. That is the power. So when we say speaking truth to power, it's used to indicate a commitment to stand up for the perspective that is more powerful than us, or that we perceive as more powerful than us. In truth, no one is more or less powerful. We are equally powerful in the human eyes of the inexpressible infinite. So you've heard me share a little bit about my travel experiences with people and traveling around the world and living with people in their homes and doing a song and dance for my dinner. And one of the basic tenets of Up With People is communicating with people where they are. When I was sleeping in a hammock with a host family in Mexico outside because they dearly wanted to host somebody and they didn't have any room in their house, that was a learning experience for me, and I bless them for taking me into their home. When I had my wealthiest host family and he wanted me to sail me up the coast in his yacht to our next city, that was a phenomenal experience. And you see, whether we're meeting with paupers or whether we're meeting with princes, wherever we're meeting with people on their journey, that is what we do so well in this community. We see past the circumstance. We see past the experience. For all those of you, so many, and thank you, Susan, for leading the charge with Westside Cares. For those of you who have spent time in that agency, working with that organization, supporting our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness. some by choice, some not. Okay, well, that's a circumstance. And we get to see past that, and we get to work with them and support them and allow them to support us. So we can feel powerless, but in reality, the people who seem powerful are no more or no less spirit than we are. Organizations that seem powerful and immovable are made up again of people in spirit form. Infinite Spirit is always and everywhere present. As the monsters turn out to be not really monsters, and in fact, become helpful. So what this phrase often addresses is control rather than power. We confuse power and control. Power is simply the ability to get things done. I have heard the phrase, and perhaps you have, power tends to corrupt and absolute power tends to corrupt absolutely. Yet, since the only real power in the universe is spirit, the phrase would imply a corrupt infinite. And that is not the truth. So, secondly, when we encounter people, circumstances, and organizations that seem all powerful, they're actually people who have a high need for control. The need for control seems to come from fear. I have had this experience or these experiences. Therefore, if I can control this, if I can fix that, if I can maneuver this, if I can, whatever your terminology is, the need for control comes from fear, allowing ourselves to be safe. Again, I remind you, one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a majority. This is a guideline. First, we must be in consciousness with the infinite, not having our attention pulled by the people, organizations, or circumstances in our human lives. None of these is first cause. Our invitation is to go deep into first cause and allow that nature to flow through us. As I'm thinking about this whole conversation around speaking truth to power and speaking truth to circumstance, I couldn't help but reflect on the Supreme Court decisions this past week. Forgive the oversimplification for some folks on the right. Praise the Lord, this is the answer to our prayers. For some folks on the left, oh my God, we're going to hell in a handbasket. How in the world could they ever think that way? And I bless you wherever you are on that energetic spectrum. And what we get to do, what is ours to do as people of faith, is to continue to know the truth. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, the arc of the universe is long, and it bends towards social justice. So it may happen in a new Supreme Court. Perhaps the Supreme Court is expanded. Perhaps none of this will change in our lifetime. And what we get to know, we don't have to know the how. What we get to know is the highest and best for all those affected. We get to know the highest and best for all of the people of color who are affected by that decision. We get to know the highest and best for all of our transgender, non-binary, GLBTQIAA+ brothers and sisters who have no idea what the future holds for them. We don't have to know the how. We do have to take action, right? Again, part of Martin Luther King's ministry was powerful words, a deep knowledge of the Bible and of the human condition, and action. So that is where we get to treat and move our feet. We get to pray and take action. So once we're alone in that consciousness with the infinite, then, we're tapped into a power greater than we are. Again, don't get wound up in the how. That is not ours to know necessarily. We get to declare the what. What do we want? As we co-create this human existence with the divine, what are we creating? And, I'd like to think that I know a whole lot. Truth be told, I don't know very much. So I always add this or something better. And I had a conversation with one of my minister mentors about that. He said, David, why do you add that to your prayers? And I said, well, I don't want to limit the divine. I don't want to say, I want this and this and this and this and this. And so it is, thank you very much, and wait for it to happen. And my human vision, my human understanding of that is so narrow. What if God has so much, something so much grander and magnificent in store that I'm not including? And he said, David, you're powerful. You're not that powerful. You can't limit God. I'm like, okay. So I'm not saying that for God. I'm saying that for me. So when something appears different than what was on my list, my human self gets to be okay with it. So I'm also aware of when we align with the nature of the divine, life, love, light, wisdom, power, peace, and beauty and joy, whatever that looks like, however you call that into sensation, we need to become willing to let it express through us. Now, many of us are familiar with the hero's journey, the heroine's journey. And as part of that journey, that individual comes to their own true nature, their own unity with the one. And all that opposed them, energy, circumstance, people, is swept away. Often our first response to wounding or outrageous circumstances is fight or flight or freeze, right? I don't know if any of you felt that way when you heard some of the things happening from the Supreme Court. But when we want to create real change, we must unwind from those conditional patterns and invite in a fourth F, not actually an F, a fourth item. We turn within. So rather than fighting or fleeing or freezing, we do what we know how to do, and we pray. And that is what we do. Not as in hiding, but as in turning to the infinite power within. We know what is life-enhancing and what is not. As people committed to creating a world that works for all, in the words of Sharif Abdullah, we commit to taking a stand for life-enhancing. And since spirit is the ultimate source and first cause of life, we turn to spirit for guidance. Then we act and live from that guidance. So what we know then, my friends, is that those who seem like monsters, people, organizations, and circumstances, are not as real as they appear. When looked at through the mind of the infinite, it is all smoke and mirrors. Nothing is as real and solid as it seems. Like monsters, they can make a lot of noise, huffing and puffing, and even blowing a house down. But a house built on the solid foundation of spirit cannot be blown down by human bullies. Oh, the form might go, but the real substance of spirit, eternal life, cannot be blown down. We do not have to stand in opposition to the people. They are our brothers and sisters. And what we know is that within every individual is the spark of life, the spark of love. When we can get past our fear and theirs, as insurmountable as that might seem, we can find a way to create a world that works for all. In the Torah, Moses, who performed amazing wonders, is called the meekest of men. In that usage, he is one who puts his own doubts and fears aside to listen to spirit. In doing so, He led the Israelites from captivity, and we're all in captivity of some sort. When we let our collective consciousness lead us around, he led them to true freedom. When we turn to the truth of the power within, we can speak truth to circumstance, and the monsters will transform as we do. I am reminded of a thought from Brian McLaren in his book, Do I Stay Christian? A Guide for the Doubters, the Disappointed, and the Disillusioned. That person you call your enemy, that person is a part of your family, part of your species, part of your story, part of your kind. And from Platonius, the founder of Neoplatonism, I do not argue, I contemplate, and as I contemplate, I let fall the seeds of thought into the mirror of mind, which then becomes the mirror of matter. So as I was reflecting on this then, I was reminded of Temple Grandin, Dr. Temple Grandin. Is anybody familiar with Dr. Temple? You may be. I'm getting a little feedback here, Mark. I'll speak louder if you turn me down. Thank you. Dr. Temple Grandin is one of the top scientists in the humane livestock handling industry. She has a PhD in animal science from the University of Illinois and is a professor right up the street at Colorado State. She's authored 6 books, including 2 bestsellers. She has changed livestock handling and influenced an entire industry. She is autistic. She says, autism is a part of who I am. Her disability is actually the gift that allows Grandin to understand and translate animals. What else might be true? How are you thinking about a condition or a circumstance in which you might find yourself as something bad or negative? What else might be true? What if you stepped back and looked at it through a slightly different light? Not rose-colored glasses, not ignoring, not sweeping it under the rug. Continue to be with it and expand your thinking. That's what we do here every day. That's what we do here every week. We're all here to learn, to grow, to expand, and to change our thinking. What might you have termed a disability, mental, physical, emotional, relational, professional? What might you have termed a disability in your life that is actually a gift? Please join me in prayer. If our chaplains would please stand and join us in consciousness. So what I know to be true is nothing is separate from or apart from the divine energy that I choose to call God. If monsters exist, they are a part of the divine. Therefore, they are created in that perfect and beautiful vision. My new favorite bumper sticker is, my spirit animal is Godzilla. I love that. What are the positive aspects of Godzilla? Got God in the name, it can't be all bad. So as I continue to be with, as I continue to poke at and to explore my limiting thoughts, my so-called disabilities as gifts, as human experience that help me to understand, to step into my greater yet to be, to claim what I am calling in. I release the limited thinking. This is bad. how good it is to be expansive, how good it is to be able to breathe, to fill our lungs in what some might call this rarefied Colorado air, a mile above sea level. It is good, it is glorious, it works for us. We are accustomed to it, we love it, we thrive in it as we help those who cannot see to release their limited thinking. And I just say yes. I say yes to the power. I say yes to the principle that is speaking truth to circumstance. I say yes to the power that is every glorious being within the sound of my voice. I say yes to the spiritual truth that says you plus God is a majority. And how good it is. Good, strong, right, truthful, powerful, expansive, expressive, and glorious. And I simply say thank you. I say thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for this understanding, for this exploration, for this glorious community of artists, of teachers, of learners. I call it good, I call it blessed. I release, I let go, I allow it to be. We anchor this prayer together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. Yeah, bless you, thank you. No more monsters. I love that. Have to have a talk with my 10-year-old great niece. She's still not too sure. And now, my friends, is the opportunity for us to give where we are spiritually fed. We are so grateful for your sharing, your gifts, your tithes, your offerings, whatever form you choose to put on that. We love you, we bless you, we humbly accept. There are many ways to give. We appreciate those in the sanctuary. We appreciate our Zoomies who click on the donate button, the checks that are mailed, the credit cards that are offered, however you choose to give. We bless you in that experience, and we know that your gift is multiplied many times. Please join me in our prosperity affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, and all that I receive. In just 1 second, Jeremy. So, my friends, our beloved ushers are with us, and they are doing extraordinary work. We are moving back to pre-COVID, if anybody can remember back that far, and we're asking you just to pass the basket across the row or pass it back. They don't need to be involved every step of the way. They're happy to if you need assistance, and I bet you got this. Let's see how it goes.
I had a dream, I jumped from a plane with my parachute wrapped in chains. Earth was rising, I was falling fast. I wished it wasn't so overcast, so you could see me and watch this bird fly. Well, I'm 6,500 feet high. I'm gonna tumble through the sky and hit the ground running. All my life I've lived this way. Had a feeling I would be okay. I guess my spirit had to risk my skin. I guess I'm nothing if I'm not all in. Watch this bird fly. Well, I'm 6,500 feet high. Yes, I'm gonna tumble through the sky and hit the ground hit the ground running, touchdown Main Street, into a sea of concrete. Boy, I bet you I land on my feet when I hit the ground. Hit the ground running, fear is my enemy. Fear is your enemy. Fear is our enemy. Yes, I believe that fear is the enemy. Yes, fear is my enemy. Death is my friend. From those sweet ashes I rise up again. Fear is my enemy. Death is my friend. From those sweet ashes I rise up again. Oh, fear is my enemy. Death is my friend. From those sweet ashes. Come on and watch this bird fly. Now I'm 6,500 feet high. Well, I'm gonna tumble through the sky and hit the ground. Hit the ground running, touchdown Main Street, into a sea of concrete. Boy, I bet you I land on my feet when I hit the ground. Hit the ground running, touchdown Main Street, land on my feet. Boy, I'm gonna land on my feet when I hit the ground. Thanks.
Jeremy, thank you. It's always a joy to have you with us. Jeremy has some of his CDs and products set up in the foyer. Please stop by and continue our effort to support local and brilliant artists. Thank you so much. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the prosperity and abundance that is continually shared and moves through this community with grace, with ease, with beauty, with great joy, great love, and tremendous flow. We are blessed. All is well. God is magnificent, and so it is. And just a reminder as we move toward the close of our service, my friends, Rick and I are hosting the Intuitive Painting Workshop this afternoon. No experience necessary. Trust me on that one. It's a lot of fun. There's music, there's painting, there's fellowship, there's meditation. We have spaces left for a few more folks. If you're interested, please see Rick in the fellowship hall, and he'll be happy to get you squared away. We even have aprons, so if you're in your Sunday best, it's okay. You know, we've got a smock for you. We look forward to that. And I did also want to highlight briefly the announcement that Marcia did so beautifully with regard to our New Thought Revival. Our ministers on July 23rd and July 30th. July 23rd is Reverend Raz Smith. Raz actually lived in Colorado Springs for a long time, was a practicing architect when he was in ministerial school. As soon as he completed ministerial school, Roger Teal hired him at Mile High Church. And lo and behold, it helps to have a minister who's an architect on staff when you're building a new 1,400-seat sanctuary. Raz is also very open about his alcohol recovery. He's been in recovery for more than 30 years. He's also sharing about his cancer journey. And most recently, he served as interim minister at Unity of Houston. So great message, great presenter on July 23rd. July 30th is David Alt. David is a singer, a songwriter, an actor. He was on soap operas. I'm sorry, I don't have any details about that, but I will find out. He is also a protege of Louise Hay. And before Louise had Louise Hay Enterprises, it was Louise in her living room, and David was one of those folks. So he has extraordinary intellectual and spiritual pedigree. He's actually doing a day-long session at the Franciscan Retreat Center on Saturday. I reached out and said, hello, my brother, how are you? More importantly, what are you doing on Sunday, the day after your conference? He said yes. So this is our New Thought Revival, bringing different energy, bringing different voices to the progressive spirituality movement, which can do nothing but support our beautiful community. Please make the time, add it to your calendar, and it's just, from our perspective, it's a typical Sunday service, and we're looking to expand our reach. If if any of those stories would resonate with anybody, please include them. We've got lots of flyers to share. Thank you for your patience. I think I did that in one breath today. I'm excited. I continue to love this beautiful community. So grateful for everything that is happening. And now, if we could offer our blessing for the children of our community and for the world, we do have some flyers that are available that show you the sign language if you're interested in participating, as well as the words. And without an administrator on site, we'll do our best to have those in the seat backs very soon, but I'm not giving you a day. So, rub our hands together, create that energy, creating that race consciousness for our beautiful community and the world. For all of the children, you are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings you are.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love.
Outstanding. And finally, as we move into our prayer for protection, please stay in your rows, join hands if you choose, and join us for a beautiful lunch in the fellowship hall, lovingly presented once again by Jackie and Donna. Excellent, excellent work. And if you would, our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Go in power, go in peace.
Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and